Another American in the news. It turns out Jesse Marsch will not be making a swift return to the Premier League. This looked to be a done deal that he was going to take over Southampton, but now talks have collapsed. The issue is the length of the contract. Southampton wanted it to be a deal just through the end of the season with an option to extend. We'll see what happens. If you can keep us up, then we'll go from there. And Jesse wanted a longer-term commitment, and so he is not going to accept the job. Seeing the reaction, there's a type of person out there that feels like, how could an American ever turn down a Premier League job if it's offered to him? And then there are others that do recognize that he might have been set up to fail here. And so this is actually the prudent move on Jesse's part.
Yeah, I mean, that he's American, maybe he looked at it and said, if I wasn't American, and again, I'm just saying the way that I think minds work here. And he might say, if I wasn't American here, that this is a no-win type of situation. Well, there's a win if you keep them up, but the chances of you keeping them up are still slim right now. If you do, you're a hero, and it's wonderful. But if you don't, for Jesse, that would be 2 relegations within 1 year, basically, or potentially, and that goes on your CV, and a 3rd failure kind of in a row. Whether that's fair or not, that's, I think, how it would be looked at, in particular because he is an American. Having said that, I don't know. I mean, he might, and look, Jesse's not going to want for a job. I think that there are teams around the world, and obviously back home if that's something that he wants to do, but even internationally out there, that will look at him as a viable option. So I'm not worried about him being employed. And I understand, if he's going to do something, he wants some sort of security. But there's almost a part of me too that kind of wants to see him in this mercenary, swashbuckling role of just going in and recognizing if it's kind of all or nothing. And if it goes great, wonderful. He's, like I said, a legend and a king in that moment, and continues on. And if it doesn't, all right, fine. You take your hits and the slings and arrows that are going to come. But maybe he is worried about how ultimately it looks on his resume.
What we don't know is what other options he has. There
Right.
might be other clubs contacting him and letting him know, hey, in the summer, we're probably going to come calling. And so he has to weigh that versus taking over Southampton now.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And, the U.S. national team is still out there, although I don't know who ultimately would be calling him, because Ernie is lame duck here, and ultimately, whoever's taking, I'm talking about Ernie Stewart, who is moving on. He's there for a few more weeks now. But, I mean, unless he has somebody in his ear saying, hey, this is going to get done, we just have to get through a certain period. But I don't think that's necessarily.
Although it is revealing that it sounds like had Southampton offered him a multi-year deal, he would have taken it.
Yep.
So
I do think he likes the day-to-day type of existence. And that's not that he wouldn't enjoy or thrive being an international coach, or he said that would be incredibly proud, and for any American coach I think it would be, but it also takes away that day-to-day type of existence that a lot of coaches thrive on.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops every week. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.